right, here we are with another Cosmic Salon, and I have Aurora from Flying Rainbow Lasagne.com. I love this imagery so much. I see the sine waves in it and everything, and so it has been an interesting time trying to get hooked up with Aurora today. So right off the bat, I'm going to say this because I think it was significant and I think it's important in the overall thing that's going on here. So I got hit with this weird, strange frequency thing and started feeling really not well. And then as we were trying to, and I pushed through, I always push through, but I was just like, what is this about? And then we're trying to get connected, and there were lots of there were lots of obstacles trying to get connected. So I feel like this is a high energy exchange here, and this kind of thing happens with specific people. So that is a way this is starting. So with that, I want to welcome in the beautiful, wonderful, I just love your vibe, Miss Aurora. Hello.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me as a guest. And yes, I'm very glad that what I call the techno gremlins have subsided, allowing us to be able to make this collaborative broadcast here today.
It's a time, and we're in a time. And so, yeah, there's no surprises here. So before we get deep into wherever we're going to go, would you bring people into the knowing of who you are, Aurora? You have a very interesting backstory, and I think a lot of people that are not familiar with you will find this intriguing. So who are you, Aurora?
Yes, thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to introduce and describe myself. So I am a galactic walk-in, and I came in 2001, actually on October 8th of 2001, and today is October 7th, 2024. So as a walk-in, I am just about to celebrate like my 23rd year here in the physical form. So I came in literally in 2001, the month after the events of 9/11. Your audience is probably already very highly aware that those events were an esoteric act, a dark magic spell, and they caused instability in the fabric of space-time. And so I come from and emanate from a collective of consciousness that is actually outside of the fabric of time-space reality. So I'm a waveform, and I am named Aurora. And I am the aurora that you see in the night sky when you see these beautiful, colorful displays, that brightly colored phenomenon. But just to tell you, I emanate from a consciousness collective. I don't come from a coordinate in space-time. Because as I came here and as I started to introduce myself to people, and I would say, like, I'm an extraterrestrial or I'm an otherworldly visitor, just looking for the words that were the correct descriptive, people would say, like, well, point to your home in the night sky. And I'd be like, I cannot do that, because technically I, as Aurora, am an impulse, and I travel on the entire stellar network. So I'm connected to all light and all stars everywhere. And what I perceived in the mortality event of this body was something that was a great injustice. So basically, the woman who lived in this body for the first 27 years of human existence is a real human, or was a real human, and we would call that the natal soul, the one that was born into this body. And she was attacked by the dark side with a type of directed energy weapon that not only caused neurological damage, but also you can call it erasure of the soul, like an unmaking of that person's life story. And I perceived what was happening on a higher dimensional level from my vantage point as Aurora, the Waveform Collective. And I intervened. And this is something that is highly irregular. In order for me to do this, what I had to do was invent a new doorway or a genetic portal. And so I'm not sure if we're audio only or if everyone is catching all the video, but I'm holding up my sculpture that is called the Flying Rainbow Lasagne. And this shape is like clearly a sculptural form that is made out of art materials in your world. But the original lasagna, it's a waveform event that I made out of the DNA of this body in order to oscillate my presence into this world. So I invented this new doorway to be able to do this, to come into this body, because it was the death of this person was under great injustices. And I came in as a, I want to say, I gave myself the assignment. I chose to come in order to rectify time and also in order to share this concept of the Flying Rainbow Lasagne with humanity. Because once I invented it, I realized that it's something that could help me in my own personal distress, but it also is something that could be employed or utilized by many other people to move towards consciousness freedom. So I was saving the life of the body that I presently inhabit, and also bringing forward an esoteric tool that can be used to transform consciousness and really to uplift this whole entire planet. So as I said, that was 23 years ago. And since then, I've gone on a very long journey. Part of it was of healing the neurological damage in this body. So as you can tell, I walk, I talk, I'm walking on a treadmill right now, I'm highly athletic, but that it has been many, many years for me to be able to fix the injuries of this body. And also, initially, I started just doing sketches and small art pieces, and it took me a long time to find my voice as a visual artist. And then many years later to find my voice as a teacher, where teaching these concepts formally, like in a classroom. And then even after that, finding my voice as a musician. So it's been a long journey to figure out how to make the concepts and cosmic information that I have inside of me, how to articulate it in a way that can be appreciated and received in this cultural context. But that's who I am now. So thank you so much for that beautiful opportunity for my intro.
Excellent. It's quite fascinating. I'm curious as to when you came in and got connected, which was around that 9/11 period, were you aware at this time where everything was going? Because here we are now and we find ourselves in the midst of a wild ride. And of course, it's becoming more wild by the day. But I'm wondering, with the timing that you have, you must have had insight. This feels intentional, as I think you were saying. And that's where I want to go. What has happened and what are we looking at?
So I will tell you my initial self-assignment in choosing this mission. I thought that I would be done in 2003. We can all laugh now, like, that's my comedy hour. I know, I literally thought that my only job was to create the Flying Rainbow Lasagne as some kind of like a sculpture or an image or something that I could leave to humanity. And then I brush my hands off, I would be completely done. I did not know that coming into this body form and this culture at this time would embroil me in what is essentially an anti-transhumanist struggle or war, because I am definitely anti-transhumanism. Not only do I not think that humanity should meld with machinery, and that I think that that's not about consciousness freedom, but I think we should purge all technology. We don't need to have any levels of technology. And I'm happy to talk with you all about my experience of life in the time that you know as ancient, but which is actually concurrent Atlantis, which is a time when we all lived as immortal, eternal beings, like divine beings, and we had no need for any technology. So I'm happy to give a little reminder if anybody wants to walk down memory lane. But I didn't know, actually, when I jumped into this world through Flying Rainbow Lasagne, that I would essentially be becoming a warrior in this fight against technology. And my life initially for like the first 15 to 18 years that I was here, so pretty much up until 2019, was about uplifting this world through art and music and teaching, and not necessarily through directly fighting as a warrior.